And we're back here on another Couch Coach Live, continuing our ninth annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview. So tonight we're previewing the Green Bay Packers. So I got my guy Trey from the Wise Guys podcast. What's going on, Trey?
Not much, man. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. Hey, just another day, just doing our thing, continuing our preview. So definitely appreciate you for coming on and talking about the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm definitely excited, man. I could not turn down an opportunity to talk about my Packers, man. I had to accept the invite, man. Go Pack, go! And I'm definitely excited. I'm ready. We can get right into it.
Yeah. So obviously, this Packers, obviously, one of the key subtractions was Devontae Adams actually, going to Las Vegas, and also other things that transpired in the offseason. So Trey, I want to get your thoughts on the offseason, and then also, what do you deem as your team's biggest acquisition in the offseason?
Yeah. So obviously, in the offseason, the Packers they brought in Sammy Watkins, out of free agency, and they also, they drafted Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, who's been having an outstanding camp. I'm not sure if you've been hearing about him, but he's having an outstanding camp up there in Green Bay. And obviously with the loss of a Devontae Adams, who is the best receiver in the NFL, everyone's been asking the question, Couch Coach. They've been asking the question about, well, who's Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? He doesn't have any weapons in that Packers offense. And so I think the Packers, they did outstanding in the NFL draft this year. Again, they brought in Christian Watson, and on Chris Sims' draft board, he had him as the second best receiver, and on the board. He had him behind Jameis Williams from Alabama, but Christian Watson, he had a great college, career. And then they brought in Romeo Dobbs as well. And again, Romeo Dobbs has been outstanding. And can't you bring in Sammy Watkins, a player who is trying to prove that he can be a solid receiver on an NFL Super Bowl contender. He's had injury issues in the past, but he's going to get some targets, in this Packers offense. And then, obviously, you still got Alan Lazard. You still got the reliable veteran in Randall Cobb. They're going to also get back Robert Tonyan. He went down with a season-ending injury last year, in Arizona. So they're going to get Robert Tonyan back as well. And then you look at some of their free agent signings. They brought back Rasul Douglas on defense. So they're going to add some depth to that secondary. You still got Jair Alexander. You still got Eric Stokes. And then they also re-signed Devondre Campbell. Now last year, Devondre Campbell, he had a great season and stepped up in that Packers defense as the leader of that defense at the linebacker position. So, I think the Packers, they're going to be a team, in the NFC North with these free agent signings. They'll definitely still be at the top of the NFC North standings, and then also they brought in Jerry Reed as well, a defensive tackle. They signed him to a 1-year deal, so he's also going to be in the mix. You're going to get a chance to pair him up with, Kenny Clark, a nice defensive tackle. So, they made some nice moves, and I think it's going to help them, offensively and defensively, in this season.
Yeah. So, what do you deem as the biggest storyline head to the season for this Green Bay Packers team?
I think it's going to be how they can make up the production that Devontae Adams, gave the team last year. How are they going to make up the production that he gave to this offense? Because over the last 3 years, Couch Coach, he's been the best receiver in the NFL, and he's had great chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. When you talk about great quarterback wide receiver duos in the NFL, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams was at the top of that list when it comes to quarterback wide receivers. So it's going to be, difficult to make up for that production that Devontae Adams gave the Packers in this offense. But I think it's actually a blessing in disguise that Devontae is in Las Vegas now, because I think it's going to give Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to distribute the football around. I think it's going to open up the playbook more for Matt LaFleur, because now everyone's going to be involved. I think Alan Lazard, who's a solid number 2 receiver, he's going to get an opportunity to show why he believes he could be a number 1 receiver. Randall Cobb, the veteran, he's going to get an opportunity to prove that he still has something left in the tank. You got Sammy Watkins. Last year, Sammy Watkins, 394 receiving yards. That was with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And then you still got Amari Rodgers, who last year he didn't really produce in that offense. But I think he's going to get an opportunity to show what he can do because he's going to get more opportunities this year. So the biggest storyline for the Green Bay Packers is going to be, if Aaron Rodgers can distribute the football amongst these different weapons that he has now that he doesn't have his best receiver in Davante Adams no longer on the team.
So, your thoughts on the offense and just your overall outlook for this Green Bay Packers offense?
I think one of the keys for this Green Bay Packers offense is going to be the health of David Bakhtiari. I think David Bakhtiari is the most important player on this Packers offense because I believe if David Bakhtiari is healthy, I think that can help Aaron Rodgers, because he's going to need that protection to deliver the football down the field, in this offense. The last 2 losses in the playoffs for the Packers, the NFC Championship game against the Bucs 2 years ago, and the loss last year in the divisional round of the playoffs against the 49ers. In that game, the Packers offensive line, they gave up 5 sacks in each of those games. So it's going to be key for David Bakhtiari to come back and play, at 100%. And we all know best ability is availability. And they need David Bakhtiari in the lineup. Also last year, they lost Elton Jenkins. He's also a great offensive lineman in this Packers offense. So if you can get back David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, I think that could be a recipe for success for this Packers offense and Aaron Rodgers. And also the dynamic duo at the running back position with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think the Packers offense this year is not going to be a pass-heavy offense like it has been in previous years. I think this is going to be a year where their rushing attack with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones is going to lead this Packers offense. So that's how I feel about, their offense and some of the important players that they're going to need for this offense to flourish.
And let's talk about the other side of the ball. Your thoughts and also your outlook on this team's defense.
Well, see, this is the thing. Honestly, in previous years, the Packers offense was the strength of the team. And there were some years where the Packers defense, they were liabilities. Honestly, I think this year the roles have reversed. I think this year the Packers defense is the strength of the team and the offense is the weakness of the team. I can't believe I'm saying an offense led by Aaron Rodgers is a weakness of the team, but I believe this Packers defense, Couch Coach, could be a top 5 defense in the NFL this year. In the draft this year, I think the Packers, they hit a home run. They brought in Quay Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. They brought in Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle out of Georgia. And Chris Sims, he compared him to Warren Sapp. So you're going to have Wyatt up front with Jaron, what's the guy I just said his name earlier? Jaron Reed. And then you're going to have Kenny Clark as well, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And then at linebacker, you got back and re-sign. You got also Quay Walker, and then you got Chris Barnes as well. And then in the secondary, I think they got one of the best secondaries in the NFL. You got Jair Alexander, a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. You got Eric Stokes as well. And then they re-signed Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas had like 3 pick sixes last year. He had an outstanding season. So I love the Packers defense. They led by defensive coordinator Joe Barry. And I think the Packers defense is going to be the strength of this team this year. And that's different, because in previous years, it was always led by the great Aaron Rodgers. But this year, I think the defense is going to be the strength of the team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that defense is stacked. So, obviously the NFL schedule was released in May, and I know there's always games that we got circled on the calendar. I know I limited it to just one, but hey, you got 2 or 3 games that you got circled on the calendar. What you got circled this year for the Packers?
The game I'm looking forward to the most is the matchup that's going to take place with the Buffalo Bills. I'm looking forward to that matchup. It's going to be in week 8, I believe, October 30th. It'll be on Sunday Night Football on NBC. I'm looking forward to that matchup. We get a chance to see Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen in primetime action. I think you can make a case for the Buffalo Bills not only being the best team in the AFC, but you can make an argument for them being the best team in the NFL overall. So I'm excited to see, where the Packers are going to be once they head into that week 8 matchup against the Buffalo Bills. They're going into Buffalo, so it's going to be a hostile environment. But I think Aaron Rodgers and the crew are going to be up to the challenge. But that's the matchup that I'm looking forward to. I got another one for you, though. I'm looking forward to the matchup in week 10 when they play the Dallas Cowboys. They roll in the Lambeau Field in Green Bay, week 10, big-time NFC matchup. It could have major playoff implications, Coach Cal. So that's another matchup I'm looking forward to is against the Cowboys in week 10, Dak Prescott versus Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy coming back to his old stomping grounds in Green Bay. They got a street named after Mike McCarthy, for crying out loud, because he won that one and only Super Bowl in Aaron Rodgers' career. So I'm excited for that matchup in week 10 too, that when the Cowboys come to Lambeau. But I'm really excited for that matchup in week 8 against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, hey, that's definitely a great matchup. I'm gonna tell you one thing, as a Commanders fan, hey, don't look forward. I want y'all to look forward to that game. So when y'all
we ain't worried about no Commanders. We ain't worried about Commanders, man. We ain't worried about Carson Wentz. We ain't worried about Carson Wentz, man.
So, I hope y'all do. I hope y'all do try to look past us and kind of let us sneak in with a week 7 victory at home. But yeah, yeah. So Trey, I gotta ask you the $60 million question. In 2022, the Green Bay Packers will finish
12-5. I think the Packers gonna finish 12-5. I think the way it's gonna play out, I think they're going to go 5-1 in their division games. I think the one loss will come against the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're gonna split with Minnesota, but I think they'll sweep the Lions and the Bears, and then they'll beat the Vikings in one of those games in one of those matchups. I think that, and that's 5 games right there. Looking at their schedule, I think they're going to beat the Giants. They'll beat the Jets. That's 7. I think they'll beat your Commanders. That's 8. And then you look at these other games that they have against the Titans. That's a game where, I think they should take care of business against the Titans. I think the Packers are the more superior team, but the Titans still got Derrick Henry, and we know Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. But then you got, other matchups against the Patriots. They'll beat the Patriots. They'll beat the Dolphins. They play the Dolphins on Christmas. So I got them finishing at 12-5. I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most, though, Coach Cal, is the fact that they're going to be flying under the radar. When I look at the NFC, I know you're hearing it. Everybody talking about the Bucks. Everybody talking about the Rams. I've heard people say the Rams are going to repeat, and no one's repeated in the NFL since like 2004 when the Patriots did it. There's people that think the Rams are going to repeat. So in previous years, the Packers were the favorites. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC the last 2 years. So this year, because so many people are doubting the Green Bay Packers because of the departure of Davante Adams, I'm excited as a Packers fan because I think the Packers are going to be flying under the radar this year. And the last time the Packers flew under the radar, we know what happened. Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl. It was a long time ago, but that's when he won his one and only Super Bowl when the Packers were a 6th seed in the NFC, and they went on the road the entire way on their road to the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to be flying under the radar. I think they're going to finish 12-5, and I think 12-5 will be enough for them to win the NFC North.
Okay. So it's feel a little 2010 for you, huh?
Yeah. For sure.
Hey, yes, indeed. So we'll put a bow on this Green Bay Packers preview. So Trey, tell them where they can find you on social media and then plug any upcoming projects and what you got going on.
Yeah, you can find me on social media, WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow me on Wise Guys at TheseGuysKnowSports. And then you can also catch my show Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Network. And you can always listen to the Wise Guys podcast and follow the Wise Guys podcast on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Google Music, Spreaker. You can listen to the Wise Guys podcast. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And go Pack, go! I'm ready for my Packers to have a great season this year.
Yes, indeed. Once again, appreciate you, Trey, for coming on and talking about the Green Bay Packers. And much luck to the Packers, except for Week 7 in the NFL season. So,
much luck to the Packers 7 against your Commanders, huh?
Yeah, good. That'd be good to see not Sean McVay, Lord. Good to see Matt LaFleur come back home, and we'll see. So yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool, for Sean to come back home. And,
for sure.
So yeah, big time. So
sure.
Yeah, we'll put a bow on this preview. Once again, appreciate you, Trey, for coming on and talking about the Green Bay Packers. And this concludes Green Bay Packers preview, and we'll catch you guys on the next team.